I am pleased to introduce our moderator for today's Sirviendo a Nuestra Comunidad, or Serving Our Community discussion. Dr. Baglio Hinojosa is a member of the Hispanic Leaders Network Board of Directors and serves as the CEO of Leadership Empowerment Group, creating and delivering training and coaching on leadership development, team building, communication, and strategic planning. In addition, she is the owner of Mid-Valley Publishing, which produces and publishes the Mercedes Enterprise newspaper. Lastly, Dr. Baglio Hinojosa is a former professor of leadership studies at Our Lady of the Lake University in the School of Business and Leadership Studies. Dr. Baglio Hinojosa was named Woman of the Year by the Mercedes Chamber of Commerce and has been named the RGV Businesswoman of the Year by the RGV Chamber of Commerce, Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, excuse me. Recently, she was awarded the Governor's Small Business Award and named one of the Women of Distinction from the Texas Mexican American Chamber of Commerce. Dr. Baglio Hinojosa was also awarded the RGV Hispanic Chamber Small Business of the Year and named Our Lady of the Lake University Outstanding Alumni. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Baglio Hinojosa.
Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I am thrilled to be here. I do live in the Rio Grande Valley, and if you know where that is, it is 8 hours south of here, where it is much warmer than in Waco today. But I am from Waco. I was born in Belton, and I graduated from the Waco High School on 18th Street. And I like to tell people that I graduated from Waco High before the consolidation. So for the young ones in the room, there used to be 3 high schools that were then consolidated into one. The high school I went to, Waco High School, we were Tigers. I was part of the consolidation team, and so they took the name from our high school, the mascot from Jefferson Moore, and the colors from Richfield High School. So Waco High now is Lions, because that's what Jefferson Moore was. But we, the original Waco High, we were Tigers. And if you promise not to tell my adult children, I was the last Waco High Tiger. I was the mascot. So that helps you understand all about me. I am thrilled to be here. It is my pleasure to welcome our panelists. So if our panelists would make their way up to the podium here, we're excited to have 4 nonprofits or 5 nonprofits, depending on who all showed up. It looks like we have 5. That are in this community doing amazing, amazing work, serving our Hispanic Latino community with services and love that we all need. And so we are thrilled that you guys are here. Just find a seat wherever there is a microphone. And you can push those buttons there if we need that. So we are excited to have all these amazing people here with us. And I'm going to take a seat, which is going to make it a little bit harder to see us. But I'm going to give them a chance to introduce themselves to you and tell us a little bit about your organization and your role in that organization so that everyone in the room knows who you are and what you do. And then we'll go from there with some really important questions that we have for them. You want to start?
I am Israel Ochame, originally from Quito, Ecuador. I have 2 titles, so I'm going to explain why. So I'm also one of the pastors of Baptist Waco, and also I'm the executive director for La Puerta Waco. I'm a father, I have 3 kids, and 2 sons and 1 daughter. I know more San Antonio than Waco. I was living more than 20 years in San Antonio. I moved to Waco in 2015, and it's how kind of started like why La Puerta started in 2017. So as I was pastoring, became the need for our church, and also it was also a challenge for me to get to know Waco. And it grew from that question, and from that trying to serve the Spanish-speaking community, it grew as now as La Puerta organization. So La Puerta is a non-profit organization since last year. We're trying to do a lot of things there, but mainly we do focus on education. So our education is life skills. We have a lot of partners. We do different classes. It's mainly about a lot of things like the communities, whether the community, and particularly low income or immigrant needs. So as ESL, sewing class, cosmetology class, which It was about creating opportunities for them to have some income as organic soap making as well, art and crafts, and was like that. So the other part we have focus in La Puerta as advocacy, as we want to try to kind of make some bridges there, and we advocate as a holistic model to work with them in the needs that they're struggling with, or barriers, or language barriers, so as creating different partnerships, creating spaces for them to feel welcome, for them to have a space, for them to have services that they need, or someone that actually speaks Spanish. The third one is about accompaniment, which is about walking along their struggles in mental health, and health, and finance, and other things that you can think of. So that's a little brief from La Puerta.
Thank you so much, La Puerta, Waco, doing amazing things, and we're so happy that you're here with us. Gloria, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us about your organization?
Good morning. Good afternoon. My name is Gloria Page. I am original from Bogota, Colombia. I have been with Inspiración, that is a proud organization that I represent. So you know everything that we are doing about the community, especially the Hispanic community. I have been working with children and families for 22 years. I'm probably you're gonna say 22 years doing the same thing. Yes, because I love to do what I do. And I believe that nobody has the job that I do, because through game, to play, children can learn, and mothers too. Sometimes the mothers, they enjoy more of the activities than the real child. So my job is empower the mother, that she is the first and the best teacher of the child, because nobody knows the child as the mother. And also that we empower them, that they have to advocate for the children. We have Inspiración. We are located at Alta Vista Elementary School, and we have an awesome program for the Hispanic community, but we serve the Hispanic community, but also the English-speaking community. Sometimes we have to translate, this is necessarily, but our main focus is the Hispanic community. So I am so grateful to be here, and that you know about Inspiración, that is a great program, and all that we are doing in the community for the families and children.
Thank you very much. Inspiración, doing amazing work, we know, here in our community. Kent, thank you so much for being here with us today. Would you introduce yourself to the group?
Yes. All right. I'm Kent McKeever, and I'm managing attorney and executive director at Greater Waco Legal Services. We'll talk a little more about what we do and how we can work together to serve our community here in a few minutes. But we're a nonprofit law firm. So we're trying to make access to legal services as affordable and as strategic and as really compassionate as possible for our broad community. I'm an ordained minister and a lawyer, so I'm doubly cursed with wordiness. So I'm going to stick to my notes and the questions so I don't go on and on. But just a little background. I've been back in Waco. I graduated from Baylor University, did not go to Baylor Law School, but went to seminary outside of Texas. Spent a few years wandering in the wilderness, got back to Waco in 2012, and have been here practicing law and ministering in the community for the last 11 years. And it's been such a joy to be a part of this community and do this work. Just really thrilled to be here.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, we have Annalie, one of my fellow board members here at the Hispanic Leaders Network, someone I'm very, very much adore. So Annalie, could you tell us a little bit about American Gateways and the work that you're doing in our community?
Yeah, thank you. My name's Annalie Looper. I'm a managing attorney with American Gateways and the director of our Waco office. Similar to Greater Waco Legal Services, we're a nonprofit law firm. We solely specialize in immigration law. So our organization started in 1987 in Austin. It was originally the Political Asylum Project of Austin, and over time opened up a San Antonio office, and then in January 2017, I opened up our Waco office. I'm a Waco native. My mother's from South America and a bivocational pastor, so I spent a lot of my childhood years being carted to the homes of mainly immigrant women here in Waco. And so that those stories became part of my upbringing, and the people that I cared about a lot were experiencing immigration loss. So I was very grateful that American Gateways was willing to partner with me in January of 2017 to open up the office here.
Thank you so much, and thank you for that important work. So Israel, let's go back to you with La Puerta Waco. Can you tell us, how did La Puerta come about? What was the need? What was the impetus that made La Puerta Waco exist?
So when I say I'm really blessed as a pastor to work alongside with this community, because you can learn about their stories, the painful stories, and you can also learn about the big struggles. And youth is a big issue. If you're a first generation of newcomers, you just cross the border. That's Yeshua, something like that. But why is La Puerta? And even for me as a native from Quito, Ecuador, from South America, and just learning about what means Hispanic or Latino, and how you try to navigate it as a Spanish speaking only, once your identity is going to be like Hispanic or Latino. So as La Puerta, even as you see the name is not in English, we always try to do since the beginning to have a place where they can feel connected. They belong to that place. And that was the main reason the name started, as the logo is a key. I know there's a lot of things when you come to a new city and you're trying to navigate. And 2017 was tough for this community. And as Avance was shutting down, and there was a lot of connections there that I was trying to get connected about this organization, and just trying to fill the gaps that if you are Spanish speaking only, going to an agency, you don't see anyone who actually speaks Spanish at a professional level, or ask someone that say that speaks Spanish. So that was the first reason why La Puerta started, to advocate for Spanish speaking community, so they receive the education or the access, and they can navigate in the system in Waco.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's very helpful to know. Gloria, how about you with Inspiración? How did it come about and why?
Okay, Inspiración promotes equity through Inspiración promotes equity through empower the risk Hispanic families to break the cycle of poverty by fostering parenting knowledge and skills that directly impact the children's development. And we have 3 components. Actually, nobody knows, but we have 3 components where the mothers, they come to the center and taking parenting classes, and the children are in the classroom learning everything about the shapes, the numbers, the ABC. We prepare them to go for the transition to go to the school. So the transition is gonna be more easier for them because they already get used to the routine that they have at the school. And as a parent educator, I had to go to the house and reinforce what they are learning during the class. And during that time is one-to-one interaction through activities. They are made the bond between the mother and the child more stronger, because the mother, I am like the coach, the mother is gonna do the activities. So, because if I do it, the child is gonna be attached to me, but it's not the deal. The good thing is that the bond between mother and father, because we include the fathers too. If they are at home, they are welcome to participate in the class. So it makes the bond between the mother and the child more stronger. And also we are talking about different points like discipline, mental health, employment, discipline for the children, attachment, everything that they need to know. So the main point is reinforce them with knowledge so they can understand every state that the child is, so they understand better, and sometimes they can help better the child when they understand what is happening, what stage the child is. So that's the main point, to break the poverty, the cycle of poverty in the community.
Very good. Thank you. That's very helpful for us to know. So, Kent, thinking about Greater Waco, how did you guys get started? There are a lot of law firms, a lot of legal services in and around our community. Why Greater Waco?
Yeah, so there's this thing called the justice gap. Really, across the nation, and we see it even more so here in our community, 70% of U.S. households have extreme difficulty accessing the justice system. There's many reasons for that. A large part of that is how much private attorneys cost. The other aspect of it, on the other end of the spectrum, is the limitations that institutional legal aid organizations have, limited resources, restrictions on the income, household income that they can serve, the types of cases that they can take. And so we really grew into this justice gap, seeing the need. It's such a big need and an opportunity, really more than a need, to really innovate in that space and to provide access to legal services for people that can't pay private attorney, they can't get free legal aid. And so we really wanted it to develop into a multi-practice area, full-service law firm. And we are now 4 full-time attorneys. We have a full-time immigration attorney, a full-time family law attorney. We have an attorney that runs our medical legal partnership with Waco Family Medicine. She does a lot of family law and housing and estate planning cases. And then I take on a lot of property and wills and estate planning and probate cases. Some of the real prominent needs that we see in this gap in our community. And so really with our vision of really co-creating and so collaborating and partnering with our community in creating a community, a beloved community that's flourishing in love and justice. And so we're very strategic about the partnerships that we have. We have collaborations like with Waco Family Medicine, with Transformation Waco and McLennan Community College, with Grassroots Community Development, Habitat for Humanity, some banks and title companies working on property-related issues in the community. And so it wasn't just about providing legal services, which is very important for individuals and families, but also in seeing it as an opportunity to really help the community be transformed as we partner together and do more than we could do separated in our different silos. And so the partnerships is really important to us. And lastly, I mean, I would just say the real reason we exist is because of our clients in our community. I honestly, like, this work is too hard. There's too many barriers that we come up against every day that we couldn't do without being inspired by our clients in our community, because seeing the resilience and the dignity and just the real power that they have in the face of such just tremendous barriers and obstacles. We honestly, and I mean this, like, I could not do this work without them and without their inspiration to me. One of which wasn't necessarily a client, but he's here today and has always been an inspiration to me and the reason why we do what we do and why we exist. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we thank you for your determination and your persistence to work in a space that's so difficult. So thank you very much. Annalie, you shared with us a little bit of the purpose, your experiences growing up and the things that you saw. So I wonder, how do you measure the outcomes? How do you know that you guys are making headway, that you're actually doing, how do you measure those outcomes?
We win cases.
Nice.
I
Nice.
mean, that's a simple measure. In immigration, cases can pend. I have a asylum case I'm working on now that's been pending for 20 years. So I mean, they can be long lasting. So we try to look at benchmarkers before maybe the case is finalized, because we need something to keep us feeling positive about it. But yes, it's really allowing. One, it's winning cases, getting status for families that allows them the opportunity to have more freedom in what they choose. If you are undocumented, you can't work lawfully in the United States. You can't have a social security card. You can't have a driver's license. You have to have some way into the immigration system to even get a work permit. And that can be pretty complicated and time consuming. I had a colleague once asked me, what's my favorite type of case? Is it getting a work permit? Is it permanent residence? Is it citizenship? And I really love the step of permanent residence, because for our clients, that's the first time perhaps that they're lawfully able to work, but that they can freely travel in and out of the United States. So often that's the moment when they get to see their family again, sometimes after 30 years of having been separated from them. So to me, that's a huge win to see that. But it's also seen changes on a larger scale in our community. Quite a bit of the cases we take on are humanitarian crime victim cases. So people who've been victimized here in the United States and have been supporting law enforcement in the investigation. We are able to see some shifts in how the immigrant population here responds to law enforcement, is feeling freer and more empowered to report crimes and seek that assistance in the legal community here. That makes all of us safer, but it also encourages me that the immigrant community is feeling more agency and not needing to live in the shadows, which often leads to further victimization. So those are some of the ways we look for success.
Very good. Thank you so much. Gloria, the same question for you. At Inspiración, how do you measure your success? How do you know that you're moving forward with your work?
Okay, once the children graduate from our program, they go to Waco ISD. They are the ones who run the outcome, but we don't have access to those results. But we know what is happening because the mothers, they call us and let us know what's going on, what they have rewards and everything. So the best way that we can say that we are doing a great job is to see how the children are learning, the mothers, they have another perspective, the child development, how they learn. When they come to the center, you can see them that they are like shy, they don't want to talk and everything. The children are the same thing at the end of the year. You can see another face. It's like they glow because they are full of knowledge. Every time that they come to the center, they are happy to be there because they are learning something else. So it's good that they come to us, and especially we have some challenges. Like one of those is transportation, because sometimes they have only one car at their home, so they can come to the center. But we go to their houses. They don't have to come to us. We go in that case. So we don't leave any family out of services. But the good thing is the community is the one who is telling us what kind of job we are doing. They are keeping great because we don't have access to the result in Waco.
And they just keep coming, right? So you know you're doing something right. They just keep coming for all the love and service.
The more work, they come to the center. Before, at the beginning, we had to go and look for the mothers and everything. Now they come to us, looking for us. No, they are saying, look, go to Inspiración, we learned this and that. So the mouth work is helping us a lot. We had a great group of mothers. And last year, we graduated 19 children. Yeah, the first time.
Congratulations. Yes, 19 children.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And Annalie, you said we send them to you. So how important for any of you, how important, whoever wants to respond to this, is the collaboration amongst each other, amongst everyone in this community as we're serving in a place that we really feel loved and called to be? How important do you see that collaboration? Anyone can respond.
I think it's crucial, and every time they're talking, I want to talk about all their their three organizations and how amazing they are, and we all have overlapped so much in the work we do in Waco, and that's one of the amazing things about a city this size and a community that has such strong leaders is that we are able to collaborate. And I remember having conversations with Israel back in 2016, 2017. Where are we missing services for immigrants? How can we fill this need? And he stepped up and filled the need. And the same with Inspiración. And it's just amazing to see the ways that people are using their gifts to support our immigrant community here.
Very good. Israel, how do you measure your outcomes? How do you guys know, how does your group know that the work you're doing is good and it's moving forward?
Yeah, we have graduates, those who share their stories. Well, speaking graduates, we have a GD program. 2 years ago, we opened in person. We have, the past 2 years, 14 graduates. It's a good collaboration we have with CWC. We offer GD in Spanish. And actually, also, we cover the exams, so testing is everything at La Puerta in CWC location. So there's a good measurement there. And also, with some of them that are actually in a life skills training, when they also got hired from different jobs. We also hear these stories. Also in the stories when they are in the mental health program. We have a affordable counseling program. In the past 2 years, almost going to 3 years, we have worked with more than 100 clients. So it's a big accomplishment seeing those that are able to receive counseling in Spanish and really low cost in our program. The other thing I would say, I know that is really for us, our measurement is about the people that come in and hear about us and also feel connected. So we have a counselor day, 3 or 4 times in the year, when the Mexican consul comes, and we see a lot of how many come, how many they get connected with agencies. So normally our numbers at the end of the year is like 1,000 and something. So
Wow, 1,000. Wow, very good. So Kent, I have just thinking about all this amazing work that you guys are doing, and you mentioned something about how this work really is very difficult work, right? We recognize the difficulty of it. What is your greatest need as an organization? The greatest challenge or the greatest need? And how can this community of people help you? Everyone in this room, how can we help you and your organization with what you think right now, today, as we sit here, is your greatest need, greatest challenge? Where can we step in and help?
Y'all, come on. We need money. We need
Cash, he
money.
said.
We're all sitting here thinking it. I'll say it. I was talking with Israel before. They have an event on the 16th at lunchtime. We have an event on the 16th in the evening. So you spend the whole day supporting us. And I mean, there's just too much work to be done. There's too much opportunity for us to do, even collectively. And so we're always needing more funding, more resources to do this work. And that can look different than just writing a check. Like, we need volunteers. We need ambassadors in the community that feel so passionate and strongly about each of our organizations, that they're out there telling people about the work that we're doing and connecting them to us in the ways that they can volunteer, they can raise money, they can provide in-kind support. So there's all kinds of ways to provide more than just money, but the resources that we really need. But there's just such a high demand in our community for all of the work that we do. And and we're limited in the capacity to meet those demands. And so it's always about the biggest struggle is finding that balance between us wanting to do more and more and more, but just not having the capacity to do that. And then how do we do that faithfully when people come to us in such great need? We want to help them. We can't. Is there other ways we can help them? Can we connect them to other resources in the community, even when we may not be able to help them directly? And so, that's the biggest struggle, the biggest need that we have.
So for this community that's here today, how do we get to you? And if we want to donate money or time or prayers or whatever, how do we connect with you to be able to help?
For us, I know, and I think for any of them, you can come give us a check after the.
He has a receipt book in his pocket.
No, we have a website. You can donate online. Our director of development, Felicia Garrett, is here. We're
There's
so
Felicia.
excited to have her. So come to our events, like us, follow us on social media. When we have on our websites, we put out blogs. I don't know what all they do, but just stay connected. When we have events, invite people to show up, connect people any way you can to the work that we're doing.
Thank you so much, Gloria. Yeah, I read body language and her eyebrows are like, let me talk. Go for it, Gloria. How can we help you? What's your biggest challenge and how can this group help?
Okay, he explained it so well because we need some money, it's for sure. Because we are doing all the services at no cost. So that's why we are asking you your help. For Inspiración is the website. You can find a place that you can donate, or you can go to the board members. It's many ways that you can come to the center. We need toys. We need too many things, as he was saying. And another challenge that we have is because the people are so scared to go out, especially because the immigration status. So we provide them information and connect them with the people who really can help them, but still they are a little scared. But one of the main points that we need is money.
Very good. Israel, anything different? You guys need money too, or how else can we help with you all?
And also the problem is to compete with them. So. But at the same time, I would say it's really rewarding to be more aware of what we do, and also to the community knows actually well. Also, we do also some different founding organizations that what we do. So challenge really is at first, well, we are only 1 year old nonprofit and trying to do our best. And we have a website, learn about us. A film will be shortly, maybe next week, about we're trying as fast as we can before the end of the year, so more people knows about La Puerta, what we do. And our launch events is coming in the 16th, and yeah, so come every time. So we got located at First Baptist. You're gonna have a tour and learn what we do, and we always need volunteers. So since our main focus is adult education, we always need volunteers. If you don't get any money, you come in the evening, so there's no excuse. So, but you have to speak both languages, English and Spanish, because in adult education, we need bilinguals and professionals that actually is better if a student sees someone who actually is working in that field. So.
Very good. Yes, Gloria, go
I
for
need
it.
to add something.
Yes,
Sorry,
please.
sorry,
No,
that-
please.
That is so important. On November the 9th, we had the fundraising for Inspiración, so I invite you to help us, and you are welcome to come. The event is called Be Kind Again. So it's going to be on the website. It's November the 9th.
Very good, November the 9th. So one of the things I'm hearing also, you guys, is if we can't give a lot of money right now, or maybe we don't have time, knowledge is powerful, right? So we can leave this room and tell one other person about the amazing work that you all are doing, and that could be a lot of help. It could be more help than we realize. Annalie, I want to end with you, kind of as we're closing this part of it. Could you share with us, if you have one, a story, a real experience that you were able to see the impact on? Just some story that you could share with us that we could better understand the power of the way you serve in our community.
Sure. And just sent a link to Elaine. I don't know if we can watch a video on YouTube or not. No? Yeah? Okay. It's about a 3-minute bit. We don't normally have videos made, but we just had an event 2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
So we have a fresh new video. But I'll just say quickly, our partnerships are very important. I had a call a couple months ago from a doctor at Waco Family Medicine who said, one of my colleagues just had a very weird visit with this woman and her uncle. It turns out they have the same STI. Things seem a little odd. Would you mind talking with me about it? And as I talked with her about it, it became clear it sounded like this young woman was the victim of human trafficking. And she said, well, we have no way of contacting her without the uncle being alerted, but we could schedule her for a follow-up visit. And I said, could you separate them and ask her if she wants to speak to an attorney? And so they did that, and I was waiting in the other room and was able to come talk with the young woman, explain what her rights are, that she is a victim of human we discussed it a little more. I said, this sounds like human trafficking to me. Here are your options and your rights. And that she was able to use that to flee the state and get away from her uncle. But it's these kind of connections, and again, the size of our community and just the way that a lot of our work overlaps on so many fronts.
Very good. Thank you so much for sharing the reality of the work that you all are involved in. And before we get to your video, Kent, do you have a story you could share with us that we could understand that impact?
Yes. So, in the last few months, we had a client that Spanish-speaking client, and worked with our Spanish-speaking staff and myself to. I just kind of went through the motions. She needed a will. She owned a property. She needed a transfer on death deeds, power of attorney documents. And, for me, it was just kind of like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get this done, do this for her, and just kind of move on. And then the morning of her will signing, her daughter they came in, and she said, my mom has been grinning from ear to ear all morning, and for the last few weeks, she's been telling all her friends and family, like, nobody can mess with me now because I've got a lawyer. And she just was saying she felt so empowered. And it just really struck me and like kind of made me step back and realize again how just transformative this work can be for us and for the clients. But it's about empowering our clients, even through simple things like a will and deeds and that sort of thing. So, I get music. And so that's a really, I think, an indicative story of what we do. And I just want to say one more thing, like, we're all needing money, we all need help, but like, I believe deeply in a world of abundance, not scarcity. And so we've got to push through and push back against the worldview out there that there's not enough to go around. Because if we just, like, it's loaves and fishes, y'all. If like we just do our part, it will expand exponentially beyond our wildest imaginations. That's why none of us really are in competition with each other. We're doing the work. We're going to keep doing the work, and we're confident in our community, and it's an abundant community. So thank you.
Thank you for that reminder. Gloria, what story do you have for us to understand the impact at Inspiración and all the amazing work you've been doing?
If I had to tell one story, because we have so many good stories that we don't finish today. Because most of the mothers, they are here by themselves, raising a child by themselves, so that is not easy. But with us, they can find a support that they need. And also we can see the best of their family. We don't live the whole family, we see the family as whole. There are so many stories, like children in the school, how they are doing so well. The mamas, they are so happy, they are pursuing another level of education. We work together, so we send them we encourage them, go back to school, do this, and some of them, some of the GEDs, they graduate, they were parents of our program, they went to ACC, they got their certification, so we promote them to go, but the main thing that they can find on us support that they need, especially when they are by themselves in this country that they don't know how they can do, because it's a different culture, they don't speak the language, but if we have to go and translate, we do. We invite a lot of people from the community, so they are able to talk with the mothers, and they have direct contact where they know what kind of services they have, so they are able to know what services in the community are available and who they need to talk to, where they need to go to. So helping them to connect with the community helps a lot, but there are so many testimonies about the program that I didn't finish today to tell you all the work that we are doing and how they feel.
Well, thank you so much. We can only imagine all of those stories. Israel, how about you? What story do you have that could help us understand the impact?
Yeah, I like Juanita. Juanita is a grandmother. She got the custody of her grandkids, and she was in the GD program. And she was trying to do it because she wanted to show up to her grandkids, and the grandkids that she got in custody to, that she's gonna help with math, all the classes. So she graduated, took her 2 years, but she didn't, because that was, for her, was a big accomplishment, and her family and the things that she was trying to do. And the other person, I don't think I need to share the name, but she was in abuse, and I always told her, like, we need to, even you are in a situation, I know it's so complicated, but you just have to keep coming. I know we can provide that space for you. And then it was fertilized, and she applied to be in the U.S. Army. She went and then said thank you, because I needed this place to feel safe and secure in what was going in the divorce plan. So I don't know when I'll sit here again, but that's it.
But the impact was there. Thank you so much. So, Annalie, it looks like your video is loaded up. Do you want to tell us anything before we see it?
I'll say something after.
Okay, well, so we'll hear you afterwards. Very good.
I was 2 when I came here, so my whole life has pretty much been Texas. I didn't tell people that I wasn't documented, so it was definitely different, especially seeing all the other teenagers getting jobs and driver's licenses and college. And then it was like, you kind of can't do that because you don't have status. I guess my parents have always tried, but we just never had the money for it, or never could find an attorney that was honest about things. And then I married young. At first it was like, you know, he's a great person, he was nice, he was living in a way. And then he wasn't. And then it was always talking about, you know, you're an immigrant. And he'd use slurs and all that other stuff. And then he'd tell me, you're never going to be anybody. And he would hold it against me all the time. You're not going to get a status. You'll never get a status. I won't let you. Then I got pregnant. And that made things worse in the marriage. Yeah, I got really, really, really bad. Firearms, even. Just a lot of alcohol. I was pretty convinced that I wasn't gonna get help. Cause I mean, I hit rock bottom. That's what it was. It was rock bottom. You know, I believed everything that my ex-husband was saying. I believed all of it. You know, and then you meet somebody like Annalie who's like, that's not true. You're not that at all. you know, and she didn't even have to say a whole lot for me to be able to be like, oh, somebody believes in me. So the steps are definitely not always easy, and the wait wasn't easy because you have to be patient for it, for sure. You get your work authorization, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I can work now. And I started off at a little store, at a dollar store at one places, and everybody else who's there hated their job, and it's like, I'm going to be there on time. I'm going to be there an hour early if you need me. I can tell you how that day went. I went to work. I got up early. I went to work, worked my shift, and then she calls. I said, well, let's have the Zoom meeting. So, we talked about it, and she tells me, you got approved. I got your green card. And to me, it was like, oh my gosh, and I'm sure I said some expletives, but I was excited. That feeling was like, I get to do all these things. I get to actually not be afraid. Because now I have this.
All right, Annalie, what's your comments? Thank you so much
Yeah.
for blessing us with that.
Yeah, she became a citizen 2 weeks ago. And she's moved from the dollar store to now selling insurance. So she's moving on in her career, and this is one of those examples of all the overlap. It was a nurse from Waco Family Medicine who identified her as as an abuse victim, and who sent her to us. And she was at a family abuse center for a while. I think we sent her to you guys for maybe some family law help at some point. So there's just a lot of overlap. And yeah, that was a story about our organization, but I know all four of our organizations have these kind of moments, and it's what allows us to keep doing this work. And I don't know about y'all, but I feel like one of the luckiest people ever to be able to do this on a daily basis. So I'm grateful to you all, to the community, to allow us to keep doing this.
Well, I certainly want to thank you all for your time, for educating us. But I want you to look out into this room and realize that you are supported in your work. And as the Hispanic Leaders Network continues to work in a space that we feel so much opportunity, just know that we are all here to thank you and to support you for the way that you demonstrate your servant leadership. So thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you guys for being so attentive